Hey guys, I'm Joe from Mattress Clarity. Today I'm going to be comparing and contrasting the Purple and Tuft and Needle mattress. I'm going to be running these mattresses through a number of tests. I'm going to be telling you the pros and cons of each, telling you what's similar about the mattresses, what's different, telling you what type of sleeper should get one over the other, so stay tuned. Let's get started by talking about what's similar between these two mattresses. Number one, they're both wildly popular. They really made this online mattress category happen. They have very customer-friendly policies, great customer service as well. They're also in the same firmness range. I think some might say Tuft and Needle's firmer, some might say Purple's firmer, but they're definitely in the same kind of general firmness range. They're both pretty bouncy and responsive, so it's gonna be a little bit easier to move around on both mattresses. You're gonna have some bounce to it as well. General response, so those are similarities as well. All right, we know the similarities. Let's talk about the differences. Number one is price. There's a pretty big price difference here. For a queen, it's gonna be about a roughly $400 difference in price, so that's pretty substantial. Materials differences as well. Purple has 3 layers, has a base layer, transition layer, and then top 2 inches are a hyperelastic polymer. It's a proprietary gel material, very unique in its construction. Then the Tuft and Needle has proprietary foam on top called adaptive foam. Kind of mixes in memory foam and latex-like qualities, and then has a base layer. So it only has 2 layers. The feel's gonna be different as well. Purple has this unique feel that's both firm yet pressure relieving at the same time because of this gel material on top, whereas Tuft and Needle is more of a standard kind of balanced foam feel overall. Now let's talk about what the construction differences are of both mattresses. Starting with the Tuft and Needle, construction is pretty simple, basically 2 layers. You have top layer, which is a proprietary foam called adaptive foam, mixes memory foam and latex-like qualities, so you get pretty good pressure relief. You sink in just a little bit, but also has very good response. It's pretty bouncy as well, so you get that from latex. And then a pretty standard base layer. Moving on to the Purple now, we have 3 layers. We have a base layer, a transition layer, and then 2 inches of this hyperelastic gel material. It is both supportive and pressure relieving at the same time. So the way it works is that it'll stay flat and supportive until a certain weight kind of pressure threshold is reached, then it'll collapse. So if you're on your back, it'll collapse underneath your hips and then stay flat and supportive across the rest of your body. If you're on your side, it'll collapse underneath your hips and your shoulders and stay flat across the rest of your body. It's a pretty good fit for all 3 sleeping positions. So there are some pretty big differences there. The feel's gonna be a little bit different as well. So it's gonna be kind of a squishier feel, firm yet pressure relieving at the same time on the Purple. More of just kind of a balanced foam feel overall from the Tuft and Needle. I'll talk about that a little bit later. I would say the Purple is definitely gonna be more durable and more breathable as well, but there is a price difference, so you just kind of have to match what you value the most. All right, now let's talk about differences in firmness and feel. As far as firmness is concerned, I put the Tuft and Needle about a 6.5 out of 10, and the Purple a 7 out of 10. I think with the Purple, it depends on your weight. So let's say you're on your side. If you're lightweight, you may not weigh enough to get that gel to collapse. You may think it's firmer. If you are heavier, however, it will collapse. So you might think it's softer. So that's just kind of something to note. It may depend on your weight. As far as feel is concerned, Tuft and Needle has more of just kind of a balanced foam feel overall. You sink in a little bit, but not too much. It's pretty responsive, so it's pretty easy to move around, but generally a foam feel overall. Whereas the Purple has this kind of pressure relieving and supportive feel at the same time. It's very bouncy as well, immediately responsive, and also squishy as well. All right, now let's talk through how I feel in different sleeping positions on both mattresses. Starting on my back, on the Purple, very good match for me. My hips sink in and then stays kind of flat and supportive across the rest of my body. Very good match there. Tuft and Needle is also a pretty good match for me, although I would say I prefer the Purple for back sleeping. Switching onto my side, on the Purple, pretty good match. I do feel a little bit of firmness, so I would just kind of caution you if you are a light or medium weight sleeper, you may not get that gel to collapse enough to really get all that pressure relief that you need. However, on the Tuft and Needle, pretty good match for me, so I would probably prefer Tuft and Needle for side sleeping of someone of my weight. Switching onto my stomach now, Purple, very good match again. Just kind of stays flat and supportive. It kind of allows my hips to not sink in too much, which is great. Then on the Tuft and Needle, I feel like it's a little bit too soft. So I would say I probably prefer the Purple for back and stomach sleeping, but the Tuft and Needle for side sleeping. Over at Mattress Clarity, you see some subjective opinions and also some pretty cool objective tests. One test we really like is a pressure map test. I get down on a pressure map, it shows you exactly how well each mattress relieves pressure. You'll see anywhere from blue to no pressure, all the way up to red to high pressure. So if you look at these side sleeping results here, which is what really matters, you'll see that the Purple has a little bit of red compared to the Tuft Needle, which makes sense. Given my weight, I think if you're on your side, you may feel a little bit of firmness. That gel might not collapse as much. So Tuft and Needle for someone light or medium weight probably relieves pressure a little bit better. Hey guys, quick break from this video. Wanted to let you know that every month we give away a $500 Amazon gift card to one of our lucky YouTube subscribers. For a chance to win, all you have to do is leave a comment on this video asking any question about this review, and then subscribe to our channel. So just comment, subscribe, and automatically you'll be entered for a chance to win a $500 Amazon gift card. That's basically it. Let's get back to the video.
Hey guys, Martin here to offer a different perspective. Joe's 5'9", 160. I'm 6'7", 230. I'm a larger person and want to give my experience to these two mattresses. So today, we have the Tuft and Needle mattress and we have the purple mattress. In terms of firmness, I said the Tuft and Needle was a 6.5 out of 10. The purple here was also a 6.5 out of 10. Now, it's a little bit softer to me than it was to Joe. I think that's because I'm a heavier person. I'm activating this top gel layer more than he did, so it's a little bit softer to me. So, in terms of sleeping positions, over on the Tuft and Needle on my back, not quite enough support. My hips sticking a little bit too far. I'm not really properly aligned. On my side, pretty good pressure relief overall. Nice pressure relief, my shoulders and my hips. On my stomach, definitely not enough support. I'm bowing at the hips and getting out of alignment. So over on the purple, on my back, great overall support. My hips are sticking in, but not too far. On my side, great pressure relief. It's gonna be collapsing under my shoulders and my hips. Great pressure relief there. On my stomach, really good overall support. So what does that mean? I think if you're a heavier back sleeper, I'd lean towards the purple. If you're a heavier side sleeper, both could work for you. It's more of a feel preference. If you're a heavier stomach sleeper, also lean towards the purple.
If you sleep with a partner, there's two additional things you may want to consider when looking at a mattress. That's motion transfer and edge support. Motion transfer is basically if your partner's been around that side of the bed, is that motion going to be isolated or transfer over to you and possibly wake you up at night? Edge support is basically can you sit on the edge of the bed, can you sleep towards the edge of the bed without feeling like you're going to fall off? Now in this case, for motion transfer, I'd give Tuft and Needle the advantage. It does a little bit better of a job at isolating motion. As far as edge support is concerned, I would give purple the advantage. It just seems to prevent that kind of rolling off the bed feeling a little bit better than Tuft and Needle does. All right, now the moment you've all been waiting for, which one of these two mattresses should you get? Let's talk about who should get the Tuft Needle. I think if you are a light or medium weight side sleeper, the Tuft Needle may be the more appropriate choice. I feel like it relieves pressure a little bit better. On the purple, the gel doesn't collapse enough if you're kind of light and medium weight, so you don't really quite get all the pressure relief that you need. I think if you just want kind of a standard foam mattress feel where you sink into the mattress a little bit, still easy to move around, but you get memory foam and latex-like qualities in one foam mattress, Tuft Needle is the way to go. And if you just can't decide, you definitely save a lot more money on the Tuft Needle, roughly $400 for a queen by going with the Tuft Needle. Now let's talk about who should go for the purple. I think heavier side sleepers actually would find the purple to be a better fit. I think back and stomach sleepers would find it to be a better fit. It's definitely the more supportive of the two mattresses. Also, if you're looking at this as a long-term investment, it's going to be the more durable mattress. And also, if you're super concerned about sleeping hot, it's going to be completely temperature neutral, so I would probably go with the purple in that case. All right, guys, that's basically it. Hopefully, I've given you a good overview of the pros and cons of each mattress, what the similarities are, and what the differences are. If you're still a little bit confused, I can definitely give you a personal recommendation, or if you have any questions whatsoever, so all you have to do is just leave a comment below. If you're just getting started, kind of looking at what mattress you want to get, definitely check out mattressclarity.com. If you want to see a full list of our top picks, simply Google Mattress Clarity Best Mattress. Once again, let me know if you have any questions.